I'm in the middle of a bedroom makeover right now, and I want to use this lamp as part of the bedroom decor, but not with this lampshade. My brother's fiance's mom gave, wait, that's starting to sound like one of those really weird stories that starts off with, my brother's neighbor's aunt's catwalker's hairdresser knew a guy who, one of those weird stories? No, really. Janet gave me a stash of vintage lampshade frames right here. And I'm going to turn one of these into a cute ruffled lampshade for the lamp to go in this bedroom. I'm Anna. I really don't like sewing, so keep watching to see how this is going to turn out. I'm going to be covering the lampshade in this cream linen-like fabric. And the first thing I want to do is make just a basic lampshade, so just like a basic covering. And to do that, I have to start by measuring. It's 41 inches. Don't know if the bottom's the same. Oh, it's not. 44 inches. Okay, so the top's 41 inches and the bottom's 44 inches. And I'm just gonna cut like just a little, slightly off-angled rectangle. I didn't measure how tall it is. Okay, 15 inches. It's good to know all the measurements. The fabric is a little wrinkled, so I'm just giving it a quick press. My base material is cut out, and I need to start cutting out like the pieces, the strips for the ruffles. But before I move on to that, I want to add some iron-on interfacing because the cream material is like a little bit thin, and I have the iron already out. So a little bit of ironing right now. I'm ready to move on to cutting my strips. I'm going to make 4-inch bands. So when they're done, they'll be 4 inches, and I'll probably overlap them each by about ½ inch. I don't want to make little ruffles because I think that's a little too girly. So I'm going to make broader like strips of the ruffles. So measuring my 4-inch strips. Before sewing my edges, I'm just giving them a little quick press over. I have all my ribbons, and now I have to ruffle them. So I don't want to just freehand it while sewing because I'm sure somehow that will just go really bad for me. So I'm going to just take some needle and thread and weave the thread through the top parts and kind of just like evenly ruffle it out. Does that make sense? If not, let me show you. There's a couple ways of doing this. Either you can pleat a section together and then just sew right through that group. I just don't think you'll be able to do that for the entire ruffle because you'll just end up with a lot of material and that would be thick to go through. And another way to do it is just to pick up a little, almost like waves. Just kind of pick your waves up and just sew as you go. And then pull your thread through and keep doing that. So after pulling the thread through, I now have like a ruffle on a string. So when I'm putting this on the whole base of the lampshade, I can make it even so I don't end up with like a big ruffly part like this on one side and then something flat like this on the other side. So this will help me smooth out my ruffles and have nice equal ruffles. I just have to do it to the rest of them. It's tomorrow and I'm ready to move on with the ruffles, like attaching the ruffles. So I have my ruffles here and I have the base and I ironed over the edges just so it would be easier for me to see. And I'm going to be very precise, or attempt to be very precise with this, and I'm going to pin the ruffles in place starting at the bottom and continue all the way up. I know I don't have enough material to make the full thing a ruffle, so there's going to be a bit of a space, and it's only because I've run out of material. And I really wanted to use this material because it's the same material I used in the artwork. But now I'm just going to attach the ruffles, and let's see how this looks. So this is why having the ruffles on a little string on a piece of thread is really helpful. You can kind of space out your ruffles a little more equally. And I'm just going to pin them in place. My first row of ruffles is all in place. Now all I need to do is just sew right along here. I'm just going to zip right across the top. Nothing fancy, because it's me and sewing. This is the first row so far. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for the next row. This is my final ruffle row. This is what I don't like. I don't want to show this. And this is because I just sewed right across, nice and quick and easy. But to give this a more polished look, I'm going to attach the ribbon like this. So I'm gonna pin it down like this, sew along here, and then flip it over. So it'll be a nice finished look. Well, that's what I'm hoping. So let's start pinning. Change of plans. My original thought was I was going to sew everything upside down. So I was just gonna sew this way, flip it over, ruffle. Great. But why go through all of that? I'm just going to place it already with the top, my seam already folded, ruffle it up, pin it, and then just sew straight across. Well, that's gonna be easier. So that's what I'm doing. Let's get some ruffles made. All pinned and ready to sew. Okay, ruffles are done. Just a little bit more sewing. I'll be so happy when this is over. Now that my ruffles are done, I need to figure out the circumference of the shade. So let's just wrap this around and clip it. And then I'm going to pin the sides, cut it, and sew it. Seems like the right thing to do. Maybe I should start with the bottom. I'm gonna start with the bottom, because the bottom's 3 inches wider. I don't want to make it too narrow, so I'm gonna start with the bottom. Yeah, that looks right. So now that I'm all pinned up, clipped up, I just need to take this all off and then sew this seam right down here. Sounds easy, right? Let's take out the pins and cut off the excess. Not too much of the excess in case I need to re-sew this. I never trust my measurements. I'm actually pretty happy. I mean, the back's not totally even, but we'll just never look at the back. Oh. What I need to do now is just attach it, like on the inside here. So I'm just going to do some finger sewing and just attach all the, I have this like little extra material here, and I'm just gonna attach that. The lampshade is all done. And I hope I'm done with sewing for a little bit. I mean, I know I come up with these projects myself and no one forces me to sew, but I hope I can put it on the back burner for a bit. During this project, I came up with a new term, sewing anxiety. Yeah, seriously, sewing gets me that tensed up. Maybe that's why I don't like it. But sewing, back burner, done. And this lamp, I know exactly where it's going. There's this big cozy chair in the pink room, and I want to put this lamp next to it maybe a candle, a couple books, and just make a cozy reading nook. I mean, even if you don't really use it for reading and maybe you're just sitting there curled up with a cute blanket all warm and you're maybe watching YouTube, I mean, that's perfect. So I think that's what this lamp will be perfect for. A little cute, cozy reading / watching YouTube corner. But there's one more project in this bedroom series and then the reveal. So remember to check back next Friday and I'll see you soon with another project. Bye. I forgot where I started. I thought I had it marked off. Ugh, whatever. Oh, I'm gonna use a clip. I'm in the middle of a bedroom makeover right now and I wanna use this lamp as part of the decor, but I don't wanna use this lamp shade. That didn't make sense. So great story about the lights. Yesterday, the batteries died and I plugged them in, but my brand new little plug thing that I bought from Amazon wasn't working. So I had to I don't know what I did. It was so embarrassing, but I had them plugged into all the plugs on the opposite sides of the room and it was, barely could get it to work. Whatever. So, and that's how I finished the video yesterday. And then Ralph came home and I told him that new little power bar thing we bought from Amazon just isn't working. And he's like, really? That's so strange. And he's like, oh, what, did you flick it on? And I was like, oh, I forgot that it had it. I didn't even see it somehow. Oh,